This is Susie Oliver with TCC. Today we're going to do an overview of what is expected of you in the Game 2. It's a Sonar game, kind of like Battleship. Okay, you'll be modifying a console game that uses screen coordinates similar to Battleship. There are several treasure chests to be found in the ocean, which is depicted by the screen. The user will state the coordinates of where to set a sonar device. This will state the closest distance to a treasure chest, unless the closest chest is more than 9 units away. The objective is to find all the chests before the user runs out of sonar devices. You'll be filling out a worksheet that analyzes what each function does, which other functions a given function calls, which functions call that function, and what parameters each function takes, and what they are used for. This is half of the points for this assignment, so make sure you do it. Purpose: modify another person's program. You'll mostly be doing this early in your career rather than writing code from scratch. Explain what each function does, modify a console game program, and handle screen coordinates. For program instructions, number 1, download the files attached to our Blackboard assignment page and the Word report template from the resources page. Okay, here's Game 2. You'll need to download one of the instruction sets, either the docx or the PDF, and download the function listing document and the program. Now you can just click on the Word documents. To download the PI file, you need to right click on it and then say save link as and tell it where to put it. I've already got it out there, so I'm not going to do that right now. And then open it in Notepad or WordPad and copy the contents. And then you'll open up PyCharm and create a Python file and paste the program in there. Okay, so I have already done that. Here's my PyCharm, and I've changed the program name so that it has my name on here. Actually, it's supposed to be Oliver Susie. And then Julie Luscombe is the author, so don't change that. And then modified by, put your name here. And then the date. If you just want to put the month and year, that's fine. The description is console game similar to Battleship. Read show instructions for more details. Okay, so let's do that first to see exactly what this game does. We need to find show instructions. So I'm going to say Control F and then show instructions. There it is. Okay, you're the captain of the Simon, a treasure hunting ship. Your current mission is to find the 3 sunken treasure chests that are lurking in the part of the ocean you are in and collect them. To play, enter the coordinates of the point in the ocean you wish to drag a sonar device. The sonar can find out how far away the closest chest is to it. For example, the D mark below marks where the device was dropped, and the 2s represent distance of 2 away from the device. The 4s represent distances of 4 away from the device. It's going to be the maximum of the horizontal and vertical distances. So it's 0 away horizontally, and right there it's 3 away vertically. So this one would be 3 away. Okay, so if you had a sonar device, so if you had a treasure chest there, this would say 3. Okay, now these show instructions will run when you run the program. Okay, let's just run the program first to see what's going on. And you should pull that completely up. And it might even be a good idea to run it directly in the monitor rather than in PyCharm. All right, would you like to view the instructions? Yes or no? It's actually set up, you can put in a Y and it will work. Okay, so we just went through and read all that just now. Press enter to continue. These are like waves and splashes or something. Okay, so right now we don't have anything that we've dropped yet, so we don't know anything except waves and splashes. And there's no difference between a wave and a splash. It's just all done with a random number generator, whether it makes a wave or a splash. So a tick mark is a splash, and a tilde or the squiggle mark is a wave. Notice we've got the horizontal markings here, and so 0 through, and when it has 0 again, it's got the 1 above it, so that's 10, and then this is 11, 12, 13, and so forth, 20, 21, 22, and so forth. So it goes up to 59. And then vertically, it goes from 0 to 14. And then it repeats the scale on the bottom here. And notice we've got it on the left and the right. You have 16 sonar devices left, 3 treasure chests remaining. Where do you want to drop the next sonar device? 0 to 59 and 0 to 14, or type quit. Okay, so we're going to put in the horizontal one first and then the vertical one. So basically your x coordinate, your y coordinate. Notice that this starts at 0, 0 in the upper left. In math class, you were used to dealing with quadrant 1, which has 0, 0 in the lower left. But on programming consoles, 0, 0 is always in the upper left. I think I want to start in the middle, so that would be like 30 and 7. Okay, so I'm going to enter 30 space 7. Okay, now it printed it, and notice at 30 and 7, it printed a 6. That means there is a treasure chest 6 away. It could be here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where that little tick is. And that would be at 36. Or it could be the other direction. 30 minus 6 would be 24. Or it could be 6 above, or 6 below. Or it could be anywhere on the edge of that box, like you saw in the instructions. So my next guess, I'm just going to go to the right. So I'm going to say 36, 7. That's a 0, which means it didn't detect anything. So it's more than 9 away. So it's 10 away or more. Okay, so I went the wrong direction. So I'm going to go this way. And I'm actually going to go up a little bit too. So I'm going to go 30 minus 6 is 24. And then I'm going to go up 3. 24 and 4. Now notice it redraws it every time. Okay. Not the world's best graphics, but it'll work. Okay, so I'm 7 away. Now I don't know for sure if that's even the same treasure chest. So I went 1 too far away. If it is the same treasure chest, then I'm pretty up too far. Okay, I'm going to do 24, 11. Hey, I found it. It was here. And then it deleted that treasure chest, and it changed all these other ones based on the other treasure chests that remain. So I have 12 sonar devices left, and there are 2 treasure chests that I still need to find. One of them is 9 away from this point. One of them is 9 away from that point. It might be the same one. It might be 2 different ones. I don't know. And then it's at least 10 away from both of these points. Okay, so I know... No, I probably better need to go to the left. And it's 9 away. This is 24. 24 minus 9. 15. And then I'm going to do 15, 7. Okay. Oh, it's 1 away. So since this was 9 from both of these, it must be above or below. So I'm going to say 15, 6. Ah, found it. So at 15.6, we had a treasure chest. And I know nothing now about the other one. All of these are O's. It's too far away. So I'm at least 10 away from all of these. So that's 15. So it could be around 5 over here. Or it could be between 0 and 5 here. This way it could be, that one's at 36, I think. It's hard to read, which is one reason why you're going to spread this out. So 10 away from that would be at 46, so it'd be like 46 to 59 over here. But then it's also got to be at least 10 away from all of these vertically. I'm going to go halfway between here and here. So 60 minus 36 is, no, 24. And then half of that's 12. 36 and 12 is 48. And 7. Okay, so I'm 5 away, so at least I've got some information. I'm kind of in the right area. I know it can't be that direction, or this would not be there. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at 48 and 5, 53. I'm going to do 53.7. Okay, so I'm 5 away again. Probably need to go up or down. I'll say 50 and 2. That's more than 10 away, so I need to go the other way. I'll add 5, so I'm going to go 12. So 50 and 12. Okay, I'm 3 away. Odds are it's on this line. So I'm going to add 3 to this. I'm going to say 53 and 12. Hey, we found it. Okay, so we won. Okay, and we can play again if we want. I'm going to say no, and it'll quit. Now, if you don't want to play this in PyCharm, the way to normally play it is to go to where your program is. Let's see, let me go ahead and go directly to the program. And I'm going to go find it in Explorer, and then I'm just going to double click on it, and then that will run it in a terminal window. And I do want to run it under Python 3.8. Okay, so there it's going to run in the terminal window. If I need to make it bigger, I can click up here and say Properties and go to Font and make that a little bit bigger if I need to. So we can run it that way. And that's the way you'll probably have to run it once you've made your changes, because it's going to spread out and take more screen room. However, you don't have yours on presentation mode, so you might not need to do that. I'm not sure. I will definitely need to do this though. All right, so that's how the program works. Now let's look and see what you're supposed to do. Okay, so we downloaded everything, renamed it. Here's where the display is not real great. We want you to do, instead of having it like this, it needs to look like this. So we've put a space in between each one of these waves and in between each one of these numbers in the heading. Okay, and so now it'll be a little easier. You know, I had trouble figuring out, well, was this 20 or 21? Okay, now it'll be a little easier. So creating this board is worth 50% of the points in this assignment. So you need to print a space in between everything. You're supposed to go through the functional assignment sheet. So let's take a look at that one, the function listing. Every user-defined function is listed below. Several pieces of information are requested about each one. Analyze the function in the code and fill out the requested information below. The information called by, you need to locate the function that calls this function. This is most easily done in PyCharm by right-clicking on the name of the function in the function header, right after the def keyword, and then left-clicking on Find Usages, like this. So you've got drawboard, right-click on that, and then go down and say Find Usages and left-click on that. Then you'll see something that looks like this, and it will show you that it's called in 2 different places, and this is where it's defined. The first usage will be highlighted in the line above that, and you'll find the name of the function that called it. Look right here, and it's actually called by main. So main calls it in line 189 and in line 218. And if you double click on this line, it will take you there, and you can see exactly what it's doing. And then, so the called by, you'll put main. And then receives parameters, look at the function header. The function drawboard has 1 parameter, board. So let's see, let's go back and look at this. So we had drawboard and board. Let me show you in the actual program. Okay, drawboard. We have 1 parameter called board. Okay, remember that the argument name, that's the one where you're calling the function, and it's the thing between the parentheses is the argument. That name is allowed to be the same as the parameter name, or it could be different. Even if they're the same name, they're actually different variables, so they don't have to be the same name. You'll type board as your answer, but you'll need to state the data type and explain what board is or does. In this case, it's a 2-dimensional list that holds characters of ticks and tildes that represent the ocean. It gets printed after each move the user makes. You don't have to type every bit of this, but you need to make sure you analyze it long enough that you understand what it is and briefly say something like what I just said. If you leave out the explanation, half of this credit will be deducted. So here's where you start filling things out. The first one's done for you. So function header is def drawboard board. Then called by main. Receives parameters board. which is a 2D list made up of characters used to create waves. Now, how did I know that? I can't really tell that from here. The programmer didn't give me any explanation in comments. So let's go look at where it's called and say find usages, and then double click on that. Okay, here's calling draw board with the board. Okay, let's go see where the board comes from. Oh, here it is. The board equal get new board. Let's go look and see what that does. I'm going to go to declaration, get new board. Okay, so board equal the empty list. For X in range 60, so we're going to go from 0 to 59 inclusive, okay, not including 60. We're going to append an empty list to board. So we've just built list of 60 lists. And then for Y in range 15, now we're going to go put tildes and ticks in those. And then we're going to return the board. Okay, so it's just a 2D array of tildes and ticks. You're going to be asked the purpose. State the main purpose of the function. For draw board, this would be something like draws the board, including row, column numbers, and waves. Hey, you know what? That sounds like a really good place to change your board if you're going to print extra spaces. Let's look and see what this is doing. H line equal several spaces. Initial space for the numbers down the left side of the board. So remember we had 0, 1, 2, 3 going down the left side of the board. Then for I in range 1 to 6, so we're going to go 1 through 5 inclusive. H line plus equal a space times 9. So we're going to have 9 spaces. The I is turned into a string, so it's going to put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after that. Let's go run this again real quick. See, here's what it's printing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, those are the tens digits. Okay, so when you're fixing it, you're going to need to put an extra space in between each one of these, and you're going to have to put several extra spaces in between these. So for every one of these, you'll need another space. So there's 10 of them, so you'll probably need like 10 more spaces in between each of these. Okay, maybe 9, but just play with it and see. So H line is the tens digits, and then we're going to print some spaces, and then 0 through 9, and we're going to print that 6 times. Okay, so it's printing 0 through 9, 0 through 9, 0 through 9, 0 through 9, and so on. Okay, does this 6 times. Now, in the new board, you're going to need a space in between each one of these. So you're going to need to change that here. Then print each of the 15 rows. So we're going to go through board, print the row. So for I in range 15, and 15 is the number of rows, and if it were me, I would have called this num rows instead of 15, hard coding it. And then if I is less than 10, we put an extra space. Extra space is a space, else extra space is the empty string. And then we're going to print the extra space, so this will be a space or nothing here. And then it's going to print I here, and then it will print get row. So it's going to get the row in board. It'll get the whole row at the ith row. And then it's going to print I there. Here's I is the 0, and then it prints a space, and then it prints this row. But if it's less than 10, it's going to print a space in front of it. That causes it to line up here. Now they could have used like an F string and told it that it needed to be too long, of length 2. Okay, I think that's the way I would have done that, rather than this stuff with setting it to a space or an empty string. They've got to do it over here again as well. It really should have been moved over 1. I would have put the space in front there again. Okay, then what's next? Okay, then it prints a blank line, and then it prints 0 through 9 6 times again. So it prints 0 through 9, 0 through 9, 0 through 9, 0 through 9, and so forth. And then it prints H line again, which has your 10 values in it. I went through that one in great detail because that's the one you're going to have to use. Just to fill out the form, you don't need to know that much about it. Okay, what else does the form want? It wants calls. State all the functions within this program that the current function calls. Now, it's just the functions that are in the program. Print is a function, right? Input is a function. Don't include those, okay? Just the functions that are defined within this program. Drawboard, let's look and see if it calls anything. Okay, it calls getRow, and that's all it calls. And here's getRow. And then what does it return? So if it has a return statement and it has a variable after it, you put that there. If it doesn't have a return statement or it has nothing after the return statement, you just say none. Let's go look and see how this one worked. Drawboard, we'd have say call by main, receives parameter board, and we already went through that one. Purpose, draws the board, including row, column, numbers, and waves. Calls getRow. And then I'm just making a note here. If it doesn't call any functions defined in this program, just say none. And it returns nothing, so say none. GetRow, let's go ahead and take a look at that one. GetRow, we're asked, what's it called by? Okay, we just saw that it was called by drawboard, but let's pretend we don't know that. And so I'm going to right click on it and say find usages. And it will show right there, it's called by drawboard, okay? And if you click on this, it'll show you where it came from. And there is that. If you go back up here, you go back to where it was defined. So I will put drawboard. And then receives parameters, board, and row. But I need to say what they do. So board, which is the 2D list of tildes and ticks, and row, which is the current row index or subscript. Okay. Purpose. What's the purpose of getRow? Sometimes you'll get lucky and say it returns a string from the board data structure at a certain row. So we got lucky on that one. If it doesn't say, you'll have to figure out what it does. Paste, merge. Okay. Then what does it call? Okay. Board row equal for I, board row. It doesn't call anything, but it returns board row. But remember, we have to tell it what board row is. Okay, the entire row of the board. Okay. Okay, so that's how to do that. Okay, once you've done all this, it'll be a whole lot easier to make your changes to your program. But drawboard would be the easiest place to make those changes. It's possible to change up your board so you actually have the spaces in there, but that would change everything. So don't do it that way. That would be a nightmare. It can be done, but it would be a nightmare. Okay, if you have any questions on this assignment, send me an email and we'll try to figure it out.